Hello, everyone. Woo! I am so excited. I'm always excited, but yes. I'll tell you why I'm really excited today, because I met this amazing woman a few years ago at a conference, and she had been part of our community, and she just like inspired me the moment that I met her. She's so incredible. She has such a passion for teaching kids with dyslexia, and today here we are sitting next to her because she's book solid. So I'm so excited to be with Dana K. Brenner. Woo! Yay! And she is the recipient of the Tutorpreneur Hero Award because she has gotten her business booked solid. This is exciting stuff, you guys. You know, when we first get started in this, we think book solid and we think, oh yeah, that'll never be me. And then we also have two different things, right? Like everybody's book solid is completely different. We talk about this all the time. And Dana's book solid is maybe a little bit different than some of your book solids. And the reason being is because she is an amazing homeschooling mama on top of it. Right?
No, I don't know. I homeschool, so.
Yeah. Okay, you could totally add the amazing homeschooling mama on there. That's like a whole title. Like totally is a title. You know, and so the education of her own children also comes into play with what she does every day. So she's like full-time teaching regardless. So your book solid was at 5 hours a week, right?
Yes.
And why did you decide like 5 hours? That's about the max about what I can handle.
Because I have a very bad habit of overcommitting. And when my phone rings and these parents tell me the stories of their children and their struggles and they can't read, of course, my heart goes out because my son was the same way. Yeah. Then I don't want to tell them no. But on the other hand, if I overcommit, and I had done a lot of praying and a lot of thinking about, you know, what does my full-time look like? It's going, like you said, because of homeschooling, my own children cannot suffer because of my bleeding heart, you know, my tendency to overcommit. So, you know, and even now my phone is continuing to ring because, you know, parent-teacher conferences have just come out. And last week I got 4 calls in 3 days, which is amazing. But again, you know, standing firm on, you know, it happened really fast. I didn't expect it to happen so fast, but, you know, it breaks my heart to turn kids away. But on the other hand, my other children have to come before anything else. So,
yeah. Yeah. But isn't that a great place to be where you have to like turn people away? Like, whereas on the other end where you're like, oh, where are the students? Could they come any day now?
Well, and it did break my heart. But now that you have this group that I can come to and say, hey, I've got this student that I can't take them because I am booked. Is there anybody else that can take them? And I know someone had posted that last week, and several people had jumped in and said, oh, sure, absolutely. Yeah. So that is very nice. That way I don't have to worry about, you know,
that the child's not going to get serving. Yeah. Exactly. And there are other amazing teachers too that will be able to help. And you know, I really do feel that like God, just totally puts that out there on who that person is going to be. And I can trust in that system and that process and who it's going to be. Yeah. Elaine had put out there that she was in the Insider Secrets Club, that she had an extra student that she wasn't able to take because they needed weekends. Right. And she wanted to dedicate her weekends to her kids. And she, you know, we all have to set aside what our limit is going to be. Right. We all got to figure out what is that going to be.
Right. And I love that you included in the Tutorpreneur Program, right from the very beginning, you said, you know, you gave us a business plan, you drew it up and you said, okay, think about these things because this is what you need to have in the forefront of your mind as you're going forward. Do you want 20 students? Do you want 5 students? You know, you need to know these things. So when that phone rings, you know how you're going to answer the call.
Right.
So that helped a lot develop that structure.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. You know, and it's okay that everybody has a difference, you know, in what their book solid is. But we all need to have like these strategies that we've been learning to be able to get those clients through that door, right?
Absolutely.
Now, do you do only online or do you do some in person as well?
The only in person I do are with my own children, but otherwise I love the online. And that really is something I wanted to encourage everyone by. The program that I use, everyone that developed that program had said, this is meant to be one-on-one, face-to-face. It is something you cannot do online. It is impossible. And 2 years ago, when I found your group, I just knew that somehow, some way, it had to be possible. And I wasn't, so I just made up my mind to, even if I don't get something done every day, I'm going to show up. I'm just going to dedicate every day. And pretty soon that little spark became a flame, and just showing up helped put me, even when I didn't feel like it, I showed up, and it eventually, and now it's taken me 2 years to get everything in place, and I'm still figuring a few things out, but for the most part, it's like, wow, how did 2 years has passed already? And here we are. And it doesn't feel like, on one hand, it's hard to believe that it's actually come to fruition, but it has, just making the commitment to show up.
Yeah. And I'd love to, Elaine just mentioned here, everybody's book salad is different, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's just a matter of keep showing up, you guys. Like, keep showing up for these calls, right? You're going to learn something new on every single one of these calls. Every single Tutorpreneur Hero that I feature has a different piece of the story that you haven't unlocked yet. And by coming to these calls, you'll be able to unlock that. We've got the conferences that people are always invited to come to as well, where they can, continue to learn and grow. And soon there's going to be a new workshop model where we put aside hours that are called, like, these are our I'm trying to come up with a good title, but like naughty words keep coming to my mouth. Like, get stuff done doesn't sound as exciting as get SH ... I'm like, I can't use that word.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not my DNA to use that word. But,
That's right.
But we're definitely keep continuing to add services so that people can get found online, and they don't have to rely on other people and fork away all of their money in order to do it. Oh my gosh, I got to share this with you, Dana. So I went to a conference last week, and I met this lady who has her own tuition center.
Yes.
And she's paying somebody $10,000 to do her website.
Wow.
Yeah. And guess what she's pretty much paying for? She's paying for the keyword stuff that we're doing.
Right.
And guess what? She's not gotten any students, and she's already 6 months into it.
Oh my God. Wow.
I looked at her and I said, I could teach this stuff to you way less than what I make, way less than what you're paying 1 month for, like 1/7 of the cost. Like, I typically only charge $97 for the Google Hacks course for you to be able to learn these things and get it done so that you're not taken advantage of and you can get found. And
wow.
Like you said, if you keep showing up here, though, you're going to learn stuff that is going to take your business to the next level. And you're going to get all of this at a way less cheaper cost than other people are going to try to convince you to pay.
Oh, yeah. And you're right. Every call is different because different people show up, and, it's amazing what you can just learn when you, just show up. Just be committed to show up.
Yeah. Yeah. And the first place to show up is the Ultimate Support Group for Online Tutors. So if you guys haven't joined us, definitely do that. So the first step I want to tell people right now is if you are on this call, share this video, because we want to be able to get the word out there about this community, because seriously, this community is changing people's lives. It's awesome. The second thing I'd like you guys to do, if you're on this call right now, or even if you're watching this on replay, like this page, because you're going to stay in connection with all of these live calls where you'll continue to learn lots and lots of stuff. So the first step for people is to get into the Ultimate Support Group on Facebook. That's when people are like, well, what do I do next? That's the first place I direct them to, get connected with us online.
Yes.
How did you find out about the Ultimate Support Group for Online Tutors?
Well, I was with you. I started following you. I don't remember how I found you, but I found you on Facebook. Okay. And I had already been thinking about, how do I convert this to online? And I had started telling a few people to try to get ideas. And so you came along right as I was coming to that place anyway. Awesome. So I thought, okay, this is perfect. But So then you and I met at the conference. And of course, by then I had already been on your page. And I don't know if you had did you have the Ultimate Support Group at that time?
I might not have.
This
group is actually only alive for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So that might have been like right before that. Yeah.
So then
you came along when I decided I was going to create this Ultimate Support Group. You just came right on along. I think you were in the Tutorpreneur program already by that time.
Yes. Yep. I thought this is what I need to know. This is, I need to learn the search engine stuff I have no clue about, and it's important and it's all in there. So
and then when I created. And then about a year ago, I created the Insider Secrets Club, which goes even deeper and further. And you decided, nope, I'm going to be a member of that too.
Yeah. If it's in there, then I want to be a part of it. So, like you say, $10,000 for a website. Wow.
I know. Think of how much money you have already saved by hanging out with me.
Oh yeah. And it's a party all the time.
It is a party all the time. We like to have a lot of fun. Right. And yeah, Terry said, that's insane. That $10,000 course, she said, that's insane. And it really, really is. That is absolutely insane. When I looked at the lady and you guys, you know me, I have this problem, like it's called foot and mouth syndrome. So I literally looked at the lady and I was like, are you serious? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I teach people how to do this for like way less than that. And she's like, well, I just know that having a good quality website is going to be my biggest asset. I'm thinking, no, your online presence is going to be your biggest asset. Because nobody can direct traffic to your website better than you can. Right?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to do it. You can pay somebody a ton of money and they can make as many promises as they want, but they are going to be lies. All of them will be lies. But here's what Elaine said for you, my friend. She said, well done, Dana. You are really inspirational.
Thank you, Elaine.
So I love this group. You guys are awesome.
This is a great group. And the bigger we get, the more, I don't know, it is a great group.
It is.
Great group. I love every post. So.
Awesome.
I do, really.
I know. You know what? We're on Facebook. So you know what? We just interact. On LinkedIn, it would have to be different, right? On LinkedIn, it would have to be all business all the time. But on Facebook, we get to have fun and we get to have, do all these other kinds of things. Like we get to respond to jiffies. I don't think you can do that on LinkedIn.
No. LinkedIn is pretty limited that way. Not much fun going on over there.
And so it shall be, right? Because that is their platform. That's the whole purpose. It's a business-oriented platform. Sure. All the different it's important to get to know all the different social medias, isn't it?
Yes, it is. They each are very specific in what they do. So
they really are. And you have to interact appropriately on each different one. Like if I were all of a sudden going to #heaven over here on Facebook, people might think I'm weird. They do have hashtags, but it just doesn't really fit like the whole thing over here. So what has it been like for you being an Insider's Secret Club member?
Well, part of that showing up every day was how much information. I didn't know how long it would take me to get everything I needed lined up, but I thought I want to arm myself with the tools that I need to be able to put it all in place with the shortest amount of time possible. And I knew during that 2 years, I thought this is the time that I'm going to commit to just learn everything, do everything. And a lot of the programs like the Tutorpreneur and now the Reading Interventionist program, I've had to go back through and try to organize. I've got a big, thick notebook of assessments, and I'm really diving back into that again because there's always something new to learn. And maybe I didn't need SEO right in the very beginning because I was more concerned about putting content online. But now that I've kind of got that part figured out, now the SEO part is important. So I can do that. But no matter what it is, there's always something there like, oh yeah, I didn't catch that the first time around. So you can go back and it's just there for you whenever you need it.
Lifetime access. Most of my programs come with lifetime access. And that's because I know that people are going to be at different spots. And while you might be in like introduction stage here, later on, you might be like, oh my gosh, I remember Joanne talking about that. Let me go back to where I first learned about that. And let's now see how to do it.
Exactly. It's always there for you.
Absolutely. Which is awesome. Now, Dana wants to know how you got Book Solid. Lots of people are wondering this question. How did you get all of your 5 students? How did they find you?
Well, most of it was through word of mouth, but networking was huge. I'm pretty new to the area that I'm in now. I've only been in Wisconsin for 2 years. So I just, again, made the commitment that when Joanne, I met you at an IDA spring conference, I was going to get in and meet people and talk to people. And so I went to the dyslexia centers and met the staff and just networked with everyone. And then eventually I joined the IDA board because I thought, these are the people that I want to rub shoulders with,
right,
to find out the process. So eventually, you know, through those connections, the phone has been ringing. And what's funny is I have a sign in my yard that says, do you have a struggling reader? And it's a beautiful sign. And I live right across from a middle school. Do you know, I have not gotten one call from that sign in my yard. Every call I've gotten has been from online or from people that I have networked out of my area. And I live in a pretty good sized town. So
yeah,
today I drove by and thought, wow, who would have thought that everything that I've gotten has been from online and out of the area instead of right here. And all those cars drive by my house every day.
I know. It's like we're famous to everybody else in the world except for our neighbors.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing.
So, but yeah,
you know what? I'm going to tell you, all it takes is getting one of those students from that middle school, and it will change your life forever with that school, I'll tell you, because just recently this year, my area school is just recognizing what I'm able to do because I've had so many students from my school. As a mom of the school, right, I have 3 kids going through that school district. I've been meeting lots of parents, conversations. I used to have the sign on my car.
Yes.
So lots of people know what it is that I do, but it wasn't until this year that I actually had teachers referring me from the school. And that this was the first year for me to have that happen because they're actually very scared to like recommend other tutors and that kind of thing to people that are not employed within their district. So it's been a very interesting way. But yes, the networking with the right people is so important.
It is
so pivotal, so key, you guys. I cannot tell you, like, this is why I still do this, but I don't do it. So some people will say you need to go to like those BNI things. I don't know if you've heard of BNI, but they're business. It's a business network thing where you get together with a whole bunch of other businesses.
Right.
You have to pay like, I don't know, it's like $155 to $500 a year to be a part of it, but you have to go like every single week to these business meetings, and you refer each other when somebody comes into your circle that needs somebody else's services within the group. So let's say you got a Tupperware lady inside of there. You got somebody who's selling houses, a realtor. And the one group I went to, there was a massage therapist. There's, you know what I mean? Like there's a whole bunch of people that you're not really rubbing shoulders with the right people. So you were so smart to go to a dyslexia conference and then become part of that dyslexia network to be able to connect with the right people. So don't get, it is good to have some other connections of people that are not tutors and that kind of stuff. However, to get into some of those other networking groups, they can just be a complete waste of your time. Like you just feel like you are referring out over and over again to other people. And then it's like, all right, when does karma kick in?
Well, you think how much money, I mean, if you took that same amount of money that you would spend networking with such a broad canvas of people and put that toward SEO or Facebook marketing or whatever, you know where your target audience is. I mean, my word, think of the return on investment that would earn you instead of just a blank canvas of people that you probably aren't going to get any calls from.
Yeah. And you have to take into consideration, how much do you charge an hour, right? So I'm charged $75 an hour. So for me to give up, 2 hours to drive there, to network, to come back home, I'm really putting $150 on the table each week too. And so I have to really think, okay, is my time worth $150 to be making these connections with people who may not refer me at the end of the day? So that's the beauty, I think, of the Insider Secrets Club, like that whole referral piece, right? Like, because we are able to, we're already connected with students, right? And guess what? Our students struggle with other stuff, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're one of the wonderful women that when you had a student that you're like, gosh, it's just something's not right. The chemistry's not right, or I don't know. But there's this student that needs math, and you connected her with Brandy, which was fantastic. I worked with her as well for probably about like 6 months, and she was a fantastic kid to be able to work with. And sometimes like we are not meant to work with everybody.
No,
we really aren't. And so if you can just like weed out those people that you're like, gosh, you know what? Not meant to work with that one. It is going to make your life so much happier.
Yeah. And sometimes it's glaringly obvious, and other times it's not really apparent until you get in and you start working and you realize. I think someone posted about it yesterday or maybe today, and I believe it was yesterday, and he said, obviously this is not working. So yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit, because you have the overbearing parent who has unrealistic expectations for what you're able to do in the time that you have, or they won't respond back or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And you definitely want people who are going to be able to communicate with you. It's got to be pivotal. I had the over communicator with me, which was actually the first person I had to fire.
Oh, yeah.
She wanted to communicate with me every single day after every single lesson, and email me every single day about what homework that her child should be doing. And I set her kid up with a system already in place of homework to be doing, but it wasn't good enough. She wanted more. And then she told me that he couldn't complete the activities that I was giving because it was meant for her to sit by him while he did it.
Oh my.
I'm like, okay. And I specifically said, you need to sit by him while he does this. Like, I think that this is something that I could say, this is something you could do with him at home, but you need to sit by him while he does it. And I can work on these things with him with our one-on-one time. I don't think that she heard me correctly, because she's like, he can't do the activities. Like, he should be able to do the activities with you sitting right by him. I'm pretty sure he should be able to do them. It's like, click on this word.
Wow.
Like, how can you not help guide him on how to click on this word? I am not really sure, right? And so unfortunately, it was not a good fix. So then she wanted me to videotape. She's like, could you videotape it so then I can see what I can help him with at home? I'm like, sure. I'd be more than happy to do that. Guess what she asked for next?
I don't know.
Well, it's that she asked, I should say. She decided to critique my teaching style.
Oh, my.
And tell me that I spent 5 extra minutes with her son than with her daughter, because I was working for half an hour with her son and then another 30 minutes with her daughter. They showed up 5 minutes late. And so I had given 5 minutes extra to the son instead of giving it to the daughter, and she was just livid. I'm like, oh, Lordy. And then after the critique of the lesson, I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is going to be a good fit. Like, I thought you wanted to, I misunderstood how you wanted to use those videos. I thought you wanted to use the videos so that you could help your child at home, and I respected that. But I feel like we've crossed a line here where you're trying to give me feedback on my instruction, and that you're not happy with it.
Right.
It's like,
clearly
not a good fit. Like, because I'm not going to sit through this all day long. It's crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
Wow.
So yeah, networking is a good place to be able to get people, rubbing shoulders with the right people is awesome. You also teach reading. That you use the Orton-Gillingham method, right?
Well, it's an Orton-Gillingham based method. It's called Take Flight. So yes, it is. It is out of Texas Scottish Rite Hospital in Dallas. Okay. So there aren't very many dyslexia therapy programs. So that's a different level than OG, but yeah, that's what I teach. So
very cool.
So it was starting from scratch. That's why taking 2 years to put it all online. It took a lot of extra time. There are OG programs now that are available online, and you sign up for their service, and then you can have that. But I didn't have that luxury.
So you started too early.
I know, right? Call me a trendsetter. I don't know.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Trendsetter, you. So for those of you guys who are just joining us, we are here with Dana Brenner, who has received the Tutorpreneur Hero Award because she has gotten booked solid. And we were just talking about how she got book salad, and a lot of it was through networking, either online or offline in the regular world. She got connected with a dyslexia organization and continued to be a board member of that organization, and then she continued to network with people here in our group and other people online, and she got the amount of students, and now she has to turn away students because she can't take them all. Such a problem to have.
So keep checking the group, because I will be sending students to the reading specialist people.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. See, this is how we all stay book solid, you guys, which is awesome. And guess what, Dana? When you have that opening come on up, and then you don't have phone calls, somebody else in the group is going to be like, "Hey, can anyone take this reading student?" You're like, "Yes,
yes, please." Yeah,
yes, I can. So, how have your students responded to being taught reading online?
Oh, they love it. And it's funny. I've listened to you say some things of, when a student is all over the chair and up, down, and everywhere, that would be bothersome when you're in a one-on-one face in front of you situation. But and I have one student who is like that, and it is a real struggle to get them just to focus really for any amount of time. But if they're not right in front of me, it doesn't bother me.
I know. Isn't it awesome?
So, some days they're able to focus and some days they're not, and we do the best we can. And if not, it's okay. We'll try it again next time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
The parent understands that.
I honestly think that my ADHD kids actually do better online than they do sitting next to me.
Okay.
Because I've actually had a little kiddo that, he came to my office for 3 years straight. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And now he's online. And I'm like, oh, wow, I like this kid way better online. He's awesome online. I can't believe how much more focused he is than when I was sitting by him. I feel like I say, okay, time to focus. I feel like I say that way less online. And he can be futzing with something over here and doing something with his hands. And then when I find it's distracting, I say, okay, you need to put it down. And he does. Or he hides it so I can't see it. I'm not sure which, but either way, it's good for both of us.
Well, and that as long as they're paying attention, the one student I have, she will draw. And as long as her comprehension is in place and she can tell me what I said, that's fine, because it might help her doodle to pay attention, so that works.
Yeah. Yeah,
otherwise,
absolutely.
If in front of me, that would bother me. I would think you're not listening to what I'm saying, but like you said, out of sight, out of mind. So
it is amazing. I really love that they can be learning in the position that suits them best. We really have an out of the box kind of method, don't we? Because no longer do we have to have that rigid classroom structure in order to focus and do well. We can allow kids to almost maintain their own body posture and what's going to work well for them. Now, there are times where we do need to fix posture to clear the mind and be able to get back on track. Usually that's when the kids are stumbling all over the words, right? I'm like, okay, let's refocus here, right? Let's get our body back into a good position. Let's take a deep breath in. Let's breathe on out. Now let's try reading it, and they always improve. But you don't always have to have that kind of a structure in order for your kids to do well. Who knew?
Yeah,
who knew?
I know. I love it. If I could just not have, once I get become more confident with the technology side of things, as far as, you screen share and you pull this program and you screen share with that program. And once I get all of that down, and I'm getting better, everything is, I'm still having a little trouble with bit paper right now, but I'll get it figured out. But once that piece is in place, it's going to be pretty smooth sailing. So
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And then when you're transitioning, I use that time to continue to build that relationship.
Yes, because especially with the OG programs, they are in it for the long haul. They've tried other reading programs that they may or may not have been successful with, but they realize that this, depending on how severe their student is, this is a long-term relationship. And I tell them, I'm open and honest with them right from the get-go. The parents need to be able to be accessible in case we have connection problems. It's important to have that. And they understand that, and they're very supportive. So those are the kind of parents that I want to work with. The ones that says, yes, no matter what, I will be here. We will do whatever it takes to make this happen.
Yeah.
So, and it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. It really does. I mean, and I think that's why there's such a huge, like I've noticed even just a huge success rate online is because these parents are committed to getting the help. It's not, they're not coming online because they're thinking they're getting a watered down version. You know, they realize that they're getting to work with the best of the best. Right. You know, and they understand that and they're willing to give their best in return for that. And I love the flexibility. How about you?
Absolutely. You know, a mom called last week and said, well, the school said that they thought they could help me, but I have to have my daughter there at 6 a.m. Wow. Okay. I don't know a teacher alive that wants to be at school and ready to teach by 6 a.m. But think about that poor child. You know, there's no way they can concentrate at 6 a.m. There's no way. It's brutal. Yeah. So absolutely. No, I wouldn't change the online platform at all. It is amazing. I love it.
Yeah, it really is. It's not only like really nice and flexible for us, like moms can be moms again, I feel like, on both sides of the street. Dads can be dads again on both sides of the street, right? Like I can be a mom to my kids, and if I've got some flexibility things because of like concerts or that kind of stuff, we can rotate things around to make it work. Same thing on their side, right? Like if they need to rotate something around because of sports, they can. I had one little girl though last week. The mom could not make any other time I suggested, and she said, "Looks like she's just not going to do basketball this week," and I'm okay with that. She's like, wow. I'm not missing out on her tutoring session because I was going to be out of town during her session, and she's like, I'm not missing out on her tutoring session, so we'll meet you at this time.
That is amazing.
I know, isn't it?
It really is, because I just knew you were going to say, oh, well, we just want to do tutoring this week, because that's what you just kind of expect to hear. But that's fantastic. It shows their level of dedication and
absolutely. They are totally bought into the process, and they see how beneficial it is. They've seen how good the results are so far up to this point. And it's just so much fun. I love it. I love it. And all right, so I know lots of you guys might have questions too for Dana. So what I want to do is give you guys the opportunity to put in any questions for Dana. You can even ask her height if you would like to.
Do I look short?
No question can be left unturned here. So go away, ask your questions. We will not judge you for the questions that you ask. Remember, we are on Facebook, so if you want to ask her a fun question, cool. If you want to ask her a business question, cool. We're cool either way. We go both ways here. All right. And I also want to let you guys know something cool. So I like asking the people who've been through the programs, what is the program that you feel like has impacted you the most and has worked the best for you? And Dana had mentioned the Reading Interventionist program. And she is trained in this other method. What was the name of it again?
Take Flight.
Take Flight. So she is trained in the Take Flight method. She started playing with a reading interventionist a couple years ago, and she's come back on in because she's realized that sometimes kids don't need 2 years to close the gap, right? And that's the whole beauty of the Reading Interventionist program. It's, you know what? Let's close the gap as quick as we can in the areas that the kid needs it. And if you can find where those holes are for that kid through the assessment, you're able to close the gap a full year with 8 to 12 hours of instruction. And I remember the first time somebody asked me the question, can you teach me how to close the gap a full year with 8 to 12 hours of instruction? And I looked at him like, I don't know. like, can we replicate? Can I teach you what I know how to do? I don't know. I mean, I have had a lot of training. Is it because I have had a lot of training? I know what to do. I don't know. And so I created the Reading Interventionist program to answer that question. And so this lovely lady, her name is Meg, went through the program. She had no reading background whatsoever. And she went through the program, and she emailed me 4 months afterwards. And she said, Joanne, guess what? I closed the gap 3 years with 4 months of instruction.
Wow.
And I was like, you did it! All right, so yes, I can teach it. And that was the very first version. I continue to add to the Reading Interventionist program where people are like, oh, could you add this? Could you add that? Like, yeah, you got it. Let's do it. And like we're constantly, it's a growing program. It's not one of those programs that like you purchase it out of the box and that's what you get. This is a program that grows with the times, that, you know, here are the resources that we use now. And if those resources change at all, then we'll continue to add to our mix of stuff, and we continue to have live calls. So you guys, because this is Dana's favorite program, this is a program that typically costs $997. And you are going to be able to use her name to get 50% off. But it is only good this week. So this is only good from today, this moment, until Friday at midnight, and then it goes away. So no longer will you be able to use coupon code Dana. Now you see how Dana's name is spelled there? D-A-N-A. That's how it is spelled for the coupon code. And you know what? If you forget that coupon code, no worries. We can take care of that for you. Just in Dana's name, and I will refund you the, like, I think it's like, what, $498 that you're going to be saving by taking this program. Mm-hmm. And this literally gives you all of the tools that you need, you guys, to be able to close the gap quickly for students. This is the exact method that I use with being able to get results for my students. I think the most important thing is find the gap, close the gap. That's my motto.
Well, and another thing I love about the interventionist program is that it makes it, Joanne gives you individual tests, or not tests, screeners for the different areas. So my exposure prior to Take Flight was, well, I hear read this list of words, and you didn't look for patterns. You just, could you read the words or not? And if you can't, well, you always start at the beginning, but there was no true form of knowing where a child was at. Can they decode? Can they do the individual sounds? Maybe they can't do words, but can they do sounds? Yeah. So she simplifies all of that and makes it so easy to, when you put it all together, you can look at that and say, oh, okay, this is how I can close that reading gap, because we're working on decoding, or we're only working on fluency, or whatever it is. So it makes it super simple. And then it also gives, you know, parents want to know that they'll probably see some pretty quick advances with the changes that we're doing, but it's really nice to be able to send them something, a report. This is where they started. This is where they are 3 months later, and they can see on paper the difference. It makes a huge difference. And then they're happier to think, oh, okay, well, they're making more progress than I realized, or whatever, you know. They need to have something in hand.
It is really great to have that in hand. Like, and I always do that just because I want to know, am I doing the right stuff? Right. Mm-hmm. Like, this is my assessment to really find out. I actually get to do assessment now for the real reasons that assessment was created. You know,
exactly.
As a classroom teacher, like, we have all these assessments we have to give, and they don't give us data that we can use in our classrooms. It's bogus. They're like generalizations. The kid's struggling with comprehension. Really, if he can't read any of the words, is he really struggling with comprehension, or is he just a filler in the daughter? Okay.
Right.
Don't tell me that he's struggling with this strand of comprehension. He couldn't even read it.
Right.
So now we actually have data that we can actually use, which is awesome. Like, if kids don't know 3 letters, guess what? We're going to instruct on those 3 letters. How brilliant is that? Brilliant.
Yeah, but do they know the sounds of those 3 letters?
Right.
You know, you break it down to the very basic letter name and letter sound, and then you build.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is.
Now, Elaine Francis is inside of the group right now for the Reading Interventionist. And I did not ask her to write this, by the way, you guys. She just said, do it. Join the Reading Interventionist program. I mean, guys, you guys are, if you've ever thought, like, how in the world can I teach reading online? This shows you step by step exactly how to do that entire process. You get to see somebody who's done it. I show you live videos of me teaching real students. I even go through the assessment process and how do I have that conversation with the parent on the sales process? How does that look? And oh my gosh, I wish I had something like this when I got started, because I felt like I had to make it all up at first. I had to put all these pieces together. And now you guys have it like all at the tips of your fingers. Here's everything that you need, and here's how you do it. And it's awesome. It's awesome. So I'm very excited to bring the reading interventionist. I just showed it to some other tutors who have their own tutoring centers. And this one guy, as soon as I was done presenting, he's like, "Can you teach my whole staff how to do this?"
Yes, I can.
Yeah, like, yes, let's chat about that. Let's chat. So okay. Awesome. So what advice, now that you're book solid and you're in like over the rainbow stage, right? Not under the rainbow waiting for everything to happen.
That's right.
You're over the rainbow, like kind of looking back, like, wow, like this has been a great journey. This is amazing. And I've accomplished it. I'm doing what I love to do. What advice would you give to somebody else who's kind of at the beginning stages of all of this?
Show up. Just be consistent and set small goals every day and show up, because when it starts out, it's this overwhelming, oh, wow, that's, I don't know technology. And I'd like to say I was pretty tech savvy before all of this, but no matter where you're at on the technology side of things, that in itself, as fast as technology is changing, it is quite a bit to process and to get used to, and then you're sharing it with your people. It seems overwhelming, but if you just show up and do a little every day, eventually you'll get to that point where, oh wow, okay, I'm feeling better about this now, and it will happen.
Yes, absolutely. So don't give up. Keep trying. Keep taking action. And keep showing up to the group, and you will be successful. It's like your guaranteed success recipe, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Yep. There's always something to do.
Yeah, there always is something to do, and there's always new stuff to learn, isn't there?
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Technology is changing, and so hanging out together as a group, we're always able to stay on top of all of those different changes that are happening, and what's the best technology to teach with? What's the best tools to be teaching with? We get to be on the cutting edge with everything, and it's awesome, you guys. So much fun. Thank you so much, Dana, for joining us today and
thank you.
Sharing your experience with us. It's so exciting when I get to meet people who have kind of grown up with these programs and become successful. And you're one of those women. I mean, you do everything for your students to be able to make sure they get the instruction that they deserve. You're so caring. You're so passionate. And it's been a blessing to know you in this community. Thank you. I've enjoyed learning from everyone. Yeah, it is a lot of fun being able to connect and do all of these things together. So I'm just going to remind you guys, if you're watching this either on replay or here now, share this video and make sure to like this page if you haven't already done so. We want to be able to share this community with absolutely everybody and continue to give them the resources that they need when they start up their own business, so that they can become more present in their own family's lives and still get to do what it is that they love doing. So thanks for joining us, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.